Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Whitley and today I'm talking about a very important topic, and that is honoring yourself. I have seen in the people around me and also within myself moments where I have not honored myself and I've neglected myself, and I did not treat myself in a way in which was most fair and respectful towards myself. And this goes back to just having the dignity of respect towards yourself, because it goes back to the golden rule of life. Treat others how you want to be treated. If you're okay with disrespecting someone else, then it's more than likely that you're okay with being disrespected. Or maybe you are extremely charged at any hint or sign of disrespect, whether it be constructive criticism and someone's actually just genuinely trying to help you and you take that as someone's just trying to disrespect you, whether it be someone holding you accountable for something that you may have done and you refuse to take responsibility and accountability for that action and that behavior, amongst many other things. But this is such a sacred thing, because if you cannot honor yourself, then you will forever be a people pleaser. You will be so resentful and you will give from an empty cup that you'll have nothing left to give. And a lot of people end up very sick that way. A lot of people end up their lives full of regret because they didn't have the courage, or they lack the courage and the bravery to say, hey, I matter and I'm going to honor myself in this way, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, even if it challenges or risks our relationship. Because the reality is, like, at the core, if a person is not there for your well-being, then they're there for solely their own, and they're taking advantage of you. And the idea of honoring yourself is to not take advantage of yourself so that be taken advantage of by other people. Because it's so easy to do that when you don't stand guard at your life, when you don't stand guard at the people you allow into your life, how they speak to you, how they act, how many chances do you give? People have this misconception of loyalty. I will be loyal for the sake of being loyal without deciding whether or not this thing is worthy and deserving of my loyalty, of my time, my dedication, me showing up, me putting myself in a position that may actually harm me. And my thing is, if you put me in a position where I have to sacrifice things that matter most to me, where I have to sacrifice my integrity, where I have to sacrifice the respect and honor of myself, then I actually don't believe you love and care about me. I believe you're there to exploit me. And it's so easy to be used by other people in this world. It is so easy to be blamed and guilted and shamed for other people's behavior, for other people's idea of who you are. Honoring yourself is doing the radical thing of accepting that you're a human being who has limitations. You're still deserving of dignity and respect and honor. Well, the importance of honoring yourself is really, it's to show up for yourself. It's to say that you matter and that you are significant in your life. One of the top 5 regrets of the old when they were dying was that they didn't have the courage to live life as they wanted to on their own terms. And so that they were essentially living for other people. So then who have you been your entire life if you've been living for other people? Who have you been to other people if you don't even know who you are to yourself? The golden rule and the golden standard of life is to treat others how you want to be treated. And that is something that will stand for the test of time. Because if we just resort to just treating our neighbor and treating our friends like crap and not honoring and respecting them as a human being, then we're exploitative. I know that it's hard to honor oneself when there's so much going on in the world and you just really want to be a good person at the end of the day. You just really want to show up for others that you love and value and you care for. But at the expense of yourself, at the expense of your own happiness. Where do you draw the line? What is fair to you? That's why it's really good to journal on that. What is fair to me? Where have I not been fair to myself in this exchange, whether it be a relationship, whether it be in work, I found it really important for me to try to be as aligned with that thought process, and it is constantly a work in progress. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about progressing and trying to remain in that state of alignment. Honoring oneself will change. One of the best things I ever did for myself and honoring myself was going to therapy, taking the time to journal each morning and getting really honest with myself and my internal audience about certain things that I was willing to accept in other people's behavior, in their language, in my life, and what I wasn't. And that has been very painful for me to let go of some people who I really loved and care for. Always will care for their well-being. However, at this time or that time in life, our friendship, our relationship was not healthy, because no longer was I available for certain destructive thought processes or behaviors. It was so painful for me to sit there and watch the people I love and care about go through and do things to themselves that were only going to end in more pain for them. And would I have been a good person or a good friend or a good daughter or sister or person in general if I were to just be willfully blind to the misdeeds, to the poor choices and behavior of the people that I loved? A big thing that I've always personally battled with, and I've wanted to clarify this, the difference between being self-righteous and being righteous. Self-righteous is when you think that your way and your standard of life is better than everyone else's. And I've often been accused of that, which I find it to be interesting because I found that to be people placing blame, or if I've highlighted something that they may have felt ashamed about or that they feel embarrassed about, and I'm saying, hey, this is a part where it doesn't seem like you're aligning to what you say you truly value, and how is that fair to you? I've been said, so who do you think you are? Like, aren't you think you're self-righteous? And it's like, no, but I've seen how you're dishonoring yourself in this situation, and I would feel remiss to not support you and highlight certain things. And I understand how that can come off as self-righteous if in the moment, if you haven't done your healing work and you haven't gotten honest with yourself about certain things, and there are certain things you just don't want to admit to yourself. It's hard to admit certain things to yourself. You become very defensive. I've gotten defensive over certain things where originally I was like, no, look, you're trying to just be better than me. But then it's like, after you do the work, after you sit there with your emotions, after you sit there with the situation and you process it and you see how unfair you were to yourself, when you recognize other people doing it to themselves, it strikes a chord. But with that being said, the way in which I've been honoring myself against things like that is keeping my opinion and my energy to myself. I've decided to honor my time and energy and my effort and put it all back into me and my growth and my expansion. And I implore you to do the same. Leave people where they're at unless they truly desire your help. I have known people, and I myself have done the same thing, where I have repeated the same issue incessantly and have been given advice and guidance, and I have chosen to remain stuck in that sense of victimhood, is what I would say, until I again took ownership and took accountability of my role in things. And it was painful at first to realize that you turn the knife on yourself. And it goes back to, it has its roots in a form of toxic shame, and shame in general, and feeling guilty for showing up for yourself and treating yourself like a respectable human being who's worthy and deserving of that honor. It's difficult. It's not easy work. And most people will never do it. And that is sad. But I don't blame them, because it can be painful. I want to tell you a few ways. I implore you, I hope you follow these ways of honoring yourself and taking away the guilt that comes from deciding to put yourself first and prioritize yourself, so that when you fill your own cup, you look around the world and you only pour other people's cups when you're full yourself. One quote by Oprah, or a story she had told that I really pondered on, I journaled on, was said that she used to take it so personally when other people would say, "You're so full of yourself." And then at a certain point, she decided that, you know what, I am so full of myself. Who else am I supposed to be full of? Who else am I supposed to be full of if not my own self? And taking away the guilt and the shame behind being so bold and showing up in that energy. Just simply journaling around the feelings of guilt in regards to this process of honoring yourself, trying your hardest not to feel guilty, or getting to the root cause of why you feel guilty. It's usually because in your life you've never been honored. In your life you were neglected. In your life you weren't allowed to take up space, and you had to play small for other people so that they could feel comfortable, so that their inadequacies would have a space within regards to you, so that their inadequacies wouldn't be highlighted. But the truth about it all is that we all feel inadequate. We're not perfect. We're works in progress. And we will never achieve that level of perfection, even though some of us might try. Making the decision that, given the circumstance and the situation, out of integrity and honoring myself and remaining in alignment with my values, living my values, I will stick to the standard and the code that I've set for myself in my life, even if that makes other people feel uncomfortable, even if that makes other people feel like blaming you and guilting you and shaming you. Because breaking integrity with oneself, stepping out of line with oneself, stepping out of line with your internal audience, you live with that reality. And that is the bedrock of regret, the bedrock of so many mental health issues. When we can sit there and lie to ourselves and be deceptive towards ourselves about what's really happening, and we can bake ourselves into this fantasy thinking. In the rest of your life, find ways in which you can honor yourself and make sure that you have people in your life who will equally do the same for you. It may be a little bit more difficult, but that time, space, and energy that you free up from people who do not want to honor you, you will only have more time to be a beacon and be a frequency and a vibration for people who want to. What did Dita Von T say? You can be the juiciest, best peach in the world, and still there's somebody out there who won't like peaches, which is wild to me because I come from the peach state. Peaches are delicious. So I don't know what's wrong with y'all. And also people who don't like chocolate have a hard time trusting people who don't like chocolate. I genuinely believe it's about a part of the body, but that's my personal belief. I don't want to judge other people like that, but that's what I believe. I hope you have found value in this message. Please comment, like, subscribe for more. I want to grow this community. I want to engage with other people and honoring themselves in life. Never underestimate people's ability to want to belong over their want to be an individual. And I think you can be an individual and still be a part of the crowd as long as you are honest and true to yourself. Because sometimes the idea of wanting to belong means that you forego your integrity. You people please to make other people happy. You don't make yourself happy. On this channel, we talk about having dignity, choice, freedom, respect, responsibility, about evolving and growing and expanding as a human being, and really just trying to be a better person and accept our limitations and see where we can grow and evolve. Have a lovely day, lovely evening whenever you find this video. I hope it touches a chord within your heart. I hope this message resonates with you. All right, bye.